Hello, and welcome to the Frivolous Podcast, episode 10. I am your host, Jacob, and I'm excited to be back for our 10th episode. It's kind of crazy to say, honestly. I mean, I don't know if I expected to really... I feel like I expected to get to the 10-week mark, but I don't know if I expected to really have consecutively, to do 10 weeks in a row is really cool, and I'm actually proud of that. Despite a couple of the episodes not being up to my standards or really anybody's standards. And that was frustrating, but I think we're past that. And I said that the last time, but I genuinely think we're past it. Thanks to just a random discovery that I found on my microphone. So I'm sorry about that. I'm very frustrated about that. I mean, if you guys are frustrated, you can't imagine how I feel. I mean, I don't really like putting my name on something that's not good or not, up to my standards. And I hold myself to a high standard. At least I'd like to think that I do. And so the fact that we've had these audio issues now really for a few episodes. I mean, obviously last episode was probably the worst. It's frustrating. It's definitely frustrating. And I even told my friends, I was like, hey, when the episode comes out, just don't talk to me about it because I'm really frustrated and upset. And I spent time editing and trying to fix the audio, but first of all, I'm not very good at that. And second of all, it's just, I don't think there was anything we could have fixed. So we were kind of just stuck on it, and that's okay. But like I said, I think I figured it out. I have a couple of options, I guess you could say, a couple of ideas in mind that if what I fixed doesn't actually work, I have other options and backups. So it will be fixed. I'm still going to have guests on. I'm still going to interview them, only it'll be better, and it'll continue to get better. I always got to remind myself that I'm doing all this on my own. I don't have a lot of prior knowledge with... I know how microphones work, and I know how like the condenser mics work, which are the kind that I have. I just plug them in with USB, and it's really simple, and I just have to... That's really all you have to do, almost. But it gets confusing with two mics and with the recording software, and plus I have video now. Like, there's so many things that I'm not super great at, and I'm not super technologically savvy on, so it really kind of like... It's a learning curve for me, and I can admit that. And we're gonna learn together, unfortunately. And I like I said, I need to remind myself that I'm not a pro. I'm not Joe Rogan or anything. I mean, Joe Rogan has help. Any big podcast you listen to, they have like a producer or somebody that helps them out. So I'm doing everything on my own: lighting, camera, mic, audio, recording, anything you can think of. I'm doing it all on my own. So it's going to be a struggle sometimes, and I'm sorry. But I got to remember, like, literally 11 weeks ago, I didn't even have a podcast. So looking at it like that, it makes it a bit, makes me feel a bit better. So, yeah, we're going to move on to this episode. I'm not going to talk about that last episode too much. I'm really sad because Chance is a really, really good friend of mine. And, like, we always have really good conversations and good talks. He's a very good person to talk to. He'll give you in-depth details and stories. And, like, he was doing a really good job. He was a great guest. Made it so easy for me. Not that any of my guests have made it hard, but he just did a really good job. And I was really excited to have him on because I knew like what he would bring to the table. And unfortunately, the audio issues were what they were. But I promise we'll have him back on. I guarantee you we'll have him back on because he could talk for days and days about about a lot of things, and I know that. So he will be back on, and so will Nia. Because they've had the audio issues. I mean, I'll have all my guests on again. It's not like just those two will be back, but those two for sure because they had audio issues in their episode. So anyways, we're going to move on to this episode. The other episodes are behind us. I've done what I could do. We're going to move on. So I was thinking of like what to talk about this week. There's not a lot going on in my life and so I'm just like, I don't know what I'm going to talk about. And I was struggling. And I'll be honest with you guys, I have zero things written down today. I have ideas in my head. Don't worry. I'm not just completely winging it. But I was struggling. And some weeks are just a struggle for me. But I think that's going to change soon, which is actually going to lead me into the first topic. As you guys are hearing this, I'm recording this on Sunday. But you guys are hearing this on Wednesday, obviously. I've got only a few days left of my school year, and then I'm on summer break. Will I be working in the summer? That's, up in the air. I'm leaning towards no as of right now, and but I'm open to working. If I do, it'll probably be part-time, and that's just because I want to be able to focus on a lot of things that I have been putting off for a long time, like a lot of actual like dreams and aspirations and like goals that I haven't been doing. And so I feel like if I give myself this summer, which, teachers have summer off, even though I'm not like a legit teacher, but I think if I give myself this time to actually pursue these things and actually put forth time and effort and really like better myself and like help myself out mentally and physically and like create creatively, I think it's gonna really pay dividends for me. Like podcast aside, it's stuff that I've been wanting to do. So that's my goal. That's what I'm thinking right now. Obviously, it could change in 3 days. It could change as of the time that you're hearing this. Who knows? I'm kind of all over the place right now. But I'm excited for the end of the school year. It's a bittersweet because I'm not gonna see any of the kids for a few months, if they even come back, depending on them. That being said, it's also really nice that I'm not gonna see some of those kids for a few months. The break will definitely be needed. I'm tired. That being said, though, there is news. I guess it's not really news, but I've talked about like not knowing what's next for me. I didn't know like where I'm gonna be working or whatnot. I am going to be continuing working at my current place of employment. I'm still gonna be working at that school next year. I made that decision probably last week. I really like came to terms with it, and I'm not fully sure why. There's a couple things I can think of, but I think I just thought to myself, what are you gonna do with your degree right now? And I thought, and I was like, man, there's really not a whole lot I can do right now. And I'm still not sure what I want for my master's. I'm still looking into that and trying to figure that out. So I was like, I might as well continue to work at a school, continue to get experience with kids, continue to get some really great experience on my resume. That way, when it comes time for me to get, a job either during my master's or post-master's, it's going to be even better. And I don't have to gain that experience because I've already earned it. So that was my thought process. Plus, there's some of those kids that I would really miss. It's stupid the impact that like kids can have on you. Like, and I never thought that. I legitimately I said, I remember in high school being like, oh, I hate kids. I don't like kids. They bug me or whatever. But like my tone has definitely changed on that. Obviously, some kids are not great. But after getting a psychology degree, I'm like, oh, this kid's bad because of his parents or whatever, not because of themselves. But yeah, it's weird. I used to not like kids at all, and now like there's these kids that I would literally like do anything to help them. I would. So it's so weird how that can change. And I'm not a super I'm not sentimental. I'm not a super emotional person. I feel like I'm pretty monotone and like straightforward, but I also kind of have, I do kind of have a big heart too. I do really care for people. So I think that's like, it's like the exterior is like monotone, but the interior is like caring and kind or whatever. But it's fun. And I've started to really appreciate my job in the past like month or two. I've started to like really enjoy it more. And I think that like revitalization has really like given me what I needed to be like, all right, I can come back next year and do this again. And, it was my first year doing this. I was kind of just thrown into it. I literally was hired a week before the school year started, and I didn't know what I was doing. So I was learning as I went along. And now that I, know all the kids, know the classes, know a bunch of things, it's like next year it can be even better for me because I will be more experienced and have an idea of what I'm doing as opposed to like getting comfortable and getting like, figuring it out 2-3 months in. So that's my update. There's also such a weird thing happened. It's not like super weird, but I've been at the school for a year. I'm with K through 8 almost every day. Well, not almost every day, but like I'm with K through 8 on a weekly basis. The 8th graders asked me to speak at their graduation, and I was like, what? And I have a huge fear of public speaking, I said yes because that's just I care for the kids. It's one of those things where if it was something I didn't care about, I wouldn't have done it. But I care about the kids in that class. They mean a lot to me. And I was like, I want to do this for them. In spite of my fears, I need to get over it and do something for them because I'm very, I guess grateful would be the word. It was very cool that they chose me to do it. They could have chosen anybody. And they asked me to do it. And I said yes. And I'll admit there are times where I'm really nervous about it. And there's other times where I'm chilling. I've been kind of going back and forth. And I haven't even started writing it yet, actually, as of recording this. But I know that whatever happens. It is what it is. Nobody's gonna really remember it in a year, or not even a year, like 2 months. and that's kind of what's important to me. And I'm doing it for the kids. Like, I don't care about what the parents think about it. I know that the kids aren't going to be like that super strict or like hard critics. So I'm going to do something that makes me very uncomfortable, despite the fact that I've actually spoken. I spoke at my high school graduation, and I spoke at my 8th grade graduation. So despite the fact that I have a fear of public speaking, this is my third like speech at a graduation. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know. It's weird, but here we are. And like I said, I am actually like somewhat excited for it. I want it to be good and funny. I don't know how funny. My worry is I'm not funny like when it comes to being like I'm funnier like in improv or like off the cuff. You know, like I'm funnier in the moment, not like reading it off of something. So we'll see if I can make it funny. If not, it is what it is. As long as I, just hit home, some good point about life or whatever. I don't know. I don't even know what they talk about at 8th grade graduations. I'll have to Google that. Anyways, but I actually think that was a huge reason why I decided to come back. Was just like, because I think sometimes we're ignorant or naive to our own impact on people and those around us. And I knew the kids liked me. Like, don't get me wrong. I didn't think they hated me or anything. But them asking me and wanting me to, having me be their first choice, I was like, oh wow, I've really like made an impact and made a difference here. And so that was really like heartfelt to me. So I was like, all right, maybe like I should come back, because if they feel this way, like, I can't imagine how maybe some of the other classes feel as well. So yeah, so I'm going back next year, and I'm actually like excited about it. I'm not like dreading it. I mean, there's gonna be days that I don't love, and there's gonna be days that I do love, but that's quite literally every job out there. So that's just how it goes. So that's my life right now, really. I guess I'm gonna challenge everybody to do something that makes them feel uncomfortable. I think I had that challenge a couple weeks ago too, but I've been doing a lot of stuff that makes me uncomfortable. That gives me a bit of anxiety or social anxiety, but I think you've got to put yourself in that position sometimes and just be uncomfortable. And then I'm not saying I don't really like the saying like get comfortable being uncomfortable, because I feel like you should be okay being uncomfortable at times, but you shouldn't force that upon yourself. But going out of your comfort zone is really important, I think, especially at my age. Even though I like to joke around and say that I'm old and like past my prime, I'm obviously not. Even though I'm starting to feel old, I don't know. I was talking. This is gonna change subjects, but I was talking to a 5th grader the other day, and I brought up the movie Holes. Holes came out I think in like 2007, 2008. I don't remember when it came out, but around there, right? And I used to love the movie Holes as a kid. I probably still love it if I watched it now. And she was like, oh yeah, I haven't seen that movie, which I was like, that's understandable. That's not a ridiculous thing. Because I thought maybe she was probably like 1 or 2 when it came out. So I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Well, wait, when were you born? And she was like, oh, I was born in 2010. I'm sorry, what? 2010. She was born in 2010. She was born after Holes. There are people that are talking and like functioning and, learning like long division that were born after Holes came out. Like, I don't know why that blew my mind, but that was one of the biggest moments this school year, and that happened just this week. That made me realize, man, I'm so much older than like how much younger they are than me. I already knew they were so much younger than me, but I never really thought about like the year they were born. It blows my mind. And like the kindergartners that are there, like they were probably born in because they're all more than likely 6. So they're probably born in 2016. I graduated high school in 2016. What? Like it's so weird to me. I don't know what's going on. It feels weird to be like, oh, I don't know. It's just so weird to me. I'm sure every like generation's felt that way, like when they were in their early 20s or whatever. Like I was at the point. I remember the sad day that I finally became older than people that were drafted into the NBA. Because obviously when you're growing up and I'm watching, you have like 19, 20-year-olds drafted, and I was like, huh, I'm 15. Like, man, that guy's only like 4 years older than me. And now it's like I'm 24, and there's literally like people signing for millions and millions of dollars that are like 20 years old, and they look older than me. They're so much bigger, like muscular, and just more athletic than I'll ever dream of. And I'm just like, oh my God. Like what? Like, for example, I'm not going to talk about sports too much, don't worry, but there's this guy, Luka Doncic, one of the best players in the NBA right now. The dude's like 23. He might be my age, but if not, he's 23, so he's slightly younger. And he's like 6'7". He's just built. He's like 6'7", like 200 plus pounds. I'm just like, dude, what? And you're 23 and you're one of the best players in the NBA. I was literally 23 like 4 months ago, and I'm teaching PE. Like, we are not the same. We are not the same. And that's the worst. If anybody's listening to this and you're like 16, 17, 18, maybe even 19, just enjoy it while you have it, okay? Because once you get to the point where you're starting to watch sports or you're watching like movies or TV or whatever, and these actors or actresses or athletes are coming on and they're younger than you, you're definitely gonna feel not great sometimes. Like, you're just gonna be like, oh man, if only I was genetically gifted, or if only I'd been playing basketball since I was, in the womb or whatever, I would be right there. Anyways, that's a weird tangent, but that's just, nothing makes me feel, I feel almost inferior when I see like this 6'8" guy out of Duke is 20 years old and he's the next up and coming thing. I'm like, this guy's 20? I'm like, wow, okay, this guy was born in 2002. Like, there are people being drafted in the NBA and the NFL that were born after 9/11. Like, it's weird to me. It's so weird to me. Like, I'm like, oh man, like, I keep thinking that, like, 2000 was not like 10 years ago. 2000 was 22 years ago. Like, what is, like, I don't even know what's happening. I think COVID has messed everybody's, like, biological clock up, or calendar, I guess you could say. Because I swear, even though we've had this COVID thing and it's technically getting better right now, but we had this COVID thing for like 3 years or whatever, right? 2020, 2021, this is the third year. There are times where it has felt longer, and there are times where it has felt shorter. It's really, really weird. And, like, I think it's just messed everybody's, like, sense of, like, time up, because we were locked down for so long and just couldn't do anything. And then stuff finally opened up, and it's like it had been months. So I think everybody's just like, what? The year went by fast, even though it really didn't, because we were all cooped up like chickens. But again, I'm digressing. So shout out COVID for really changing my early 20s. That was really cool. It's supposed to be a time of fun and like hanging out with friends and chilling, and I didn't get to do any of that. But to be fair, I wouldn't have done most of that anyways. I mean, I would have hung out with friends, but I don't go out right now really anyways, and the restrictions are very light where I live. So that's cool, I guess. COVID, shout out you. I had like 2 birthdays in quarantine, but it's fine. It's cool. It's whatever. So I'm gonna give you like a quick rundown, kind of the future, of like what's gonna go happen in the future with like this podcast and everything. So we're on week 10, episode 10, and we're doing great. It's awesome. The thing that I'm worried about is we're gonna approach a point, like probably sometime in the summer, where I'm almost out of guests to interview. I don't want to say I'm out, because like obviously there's other people I could ask, but realistically, like the people that I really would want to interview, I will run out soon. I've got people in mind, and I've already got a couple people lined up, but I can see that definitely not continuing soon. So there's a couple things I'm thinking of, and if you guys have any like opinions on it, you can give it to me. If I run out of people, I could always just ask a previous guest to come on, which I'm totally okay with. And it wouldn't be in order. It's not like my first repeat guest would be Eric, because he was the first guest I had on. It would be random. And like I said, I'm cool with that. That's totally fine. Or I could stick to solo episodes more, and then when I can get a guest, I just obviously fit that in there. Or I could start doing every other week for my podcast. I'm open to a lot of things, and this podcast might have to go to every other week at some point. I don't know, because obviously in the summer I'm not. If I'm working, then maybe, but if I'm not working, then definitely not. I'm gonna have nothing better to do. Which, speaking of, that's like the next transition. My plan for the summer, which I already talked about a little bit, is I'm gonna focus on this. I'm gonna like actually try to make it. I don't mind how it looks. I do mind how it sounds, but I think I fixed that. But I want to focus on like the content that I'm bringing out to the table. So I'm going to work really hard to focus on like topics, and to really focus on asking questions to my guests and writing a lot of good questions. I haven't been writing very many questions for my guests regarding like mental health, and that's my fault, not theirs. And I really want to get back to that and asking them kind of like more hard-hitting questions, because despite the fact that I do really love like having fun and being funny and like having it be goofy with my friends, I do want it to have the serious aspect as well. So my plan for like the structure would be have them come on, talk about some topics or whatever, just whatever topics I've written down, to ask them some questions, and some hard hitting, some not hard hitting, and then end it with like my rank up, because I feel like we can get like not the emotional. I don't want to call it emotional, but the more serious stuff out of the way towards like the middle, and then the end can be fun with the rank up or ranking whatever we end up ranking that day. So that's like my thought process for the future like structure of my podcast, and I'm super excited about that. I do have a lot of ideas for a lot of things. Sometimes it hurts my brain because I bounce from one place to the other and I'm all over the place. But I hope you guys know, like, I'm genuinely like thinking of ways to make everything more interesting and more entertaining. And to kind of go back, I feel like the first episode I did really good of like being funny, being serious at the same time. Eric and I had really good topics about that, but I've kind of steered away from that a bit recently. Sorry, I had to sneeze, so that's why there's a weird cut right now. Okay, but I feel like I kind of steered away from that a bit from Eric's episode. I feel like Jose and I did a pretty good job of talking about like, you know, some serious stuff as well. But then from there on, when I've had a guest on, it hasn't been as serious, which again is my fault, not the guest's fault, because I haven't been the one asking the questions. And something I need to work on, because it makes me a bit uncomfortable, you know, asking these really serious and really like, you know, mental health issue questions. But first of all, I have a psychology degree. If I want a career in the field, I'm going to need to get used to asking those kind of questions. Second of all, you know, I show when I was writing questions out, I showed them the questions beforehand. I told them that, you know, if there was one that they didn't like or didn't want to talk about, they could tell me and I would just erase it and I wouldn't even ask it. So I need to get back to that. I will get back to that, despite it making me uncomfortable. But hey, I've been doing a lot of things lately that make me uncomfortable, so I don't really know why I'm complaining or anything. Also, I'm sorry if my voice, I feel like my voice sounds a bit maybe nasally or whatever. My allergies have been really bad lately, and they weren't bad today, but then like something hit me where I just sneezed, as I told you guys. So I don't know. Sorry if it sounds nasally, but like my allergies past like 4 or 5 days have been the worst like they've ever been. And I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's in the air. Probably the monkeypox. So that's why my voice sounds like this. I'm sorry. I hope it's not too bad. So yeah, that's kind of the plan with the podcast. As for like what else I'm gonna do in the summer, it's up in the air. Like I said, I want to pursue things that I've been meaning to pursue. I want to start working out again. I was doing really good last year. Like from March till about like October-ish, I was working out very consistently, very well, at least like 2 to 4 times a week, depending on how busy I was that week. And I was really proud of that. I didn't look much different than I do now, but I felt a lot better. But I wasn't eating super healthy either. I stopped going to the gym really because I was really tired from work and I wasn't used to my schedule. Now that I'm used to my schedule, I'm not nearly as tired physically as I used to be. And so like when the school year starts this next year in like September or whatever, I can still be going to the gym because my body will be used to the work schedule. So my goal is to start going back to the gym. I don't know what gym I'm going to go to though. They all kind of suck in like their own ways. Maybe that's controversial to say, but there's always something about somebody in the gym, like Planet Fitness. They have such weird rules and like stuff. It's so weird to me. I had a membership there at one point, and it's just so weird. I didn't like. I'm like, why are we so strict? Like, I get you want it to be a welcoming environment. Do not get me wrong. I'm all for it being a welcoming environment, but I'm just like, what? Why? You know, like what is this? So I don't really know. I was going to one like 20 minutes away from me, and it wasn't bad, honestly. I might go back there. They had a lot of stuff, but who knows? We'll see. Also, what is it? I think it's initiation fees or sign-up fees, whatever they're called. Those are stupid. Like, what does it cost you for me to sign up? Like, you have to give me a little thing that I can scan to get in. That's it. Like, what? How much does that cost you? Like $4? Not even $4. I think I'm being asinine saying that. Like, I always wonder, like, why am I paying like a $35 like sign-up fee just so that like I'm committed to it? Because that makes me not want to sign up more. So what is the sign-up fee for? It just makes me so mad. Like, I'm like, all right, $10 a month? Heck yeah. And they're like, yeah, $10 a month, but you have a $45 sign-up fee. So I have to pay $55 just off the rip, like right here? All right, cool. That's what I wanted to do. That's really cool. There's like a yearly fee too. I'm like, what is the yearly fee? What is this for? Like, I would rather you just have the price be what it needs to be per month instead of charging me like an extra $60 a year for it. Like, just give me, if you need those extra money, just give me like an extra like $5. Make it 15. Make it 15 a month, and then you get that 60. You get that $60 from that. Like, I would rather it be that, because then I'm not sitting there being like, oh, it's only $10 a month. But every year. So if you sign up in July, every July, you're going to get charged a $60 fee for it. I'm like, that's stupid. And there's probably a reason for it. And some people who like are gym heads or whatever, be like, well, the initiation fee is for, I don't care. I'm gonna be honest. I don't care. It's stupid. Don't give me hidden fees. Just tell me what it is. Because here's the thing. And then they tell you like, oh, it's this much per month. So you go to sign up. They don't tell you how much the sign up fee is unless you ask for it. I'm like, I want you telling me that information straight up. I don't want a surprise. This isn't a cereal box. I don't want a surprise at the bottom. I want it all out front so that I know the information. Okay? Man. I'm sorry. That was a rant. But it just bugs me. Okay? It just bugs me. Anyways, I want to go back to the gym. This podcast sucks sometimes. I just go on these dumb tangents. I want to go back to the gym, and I want to start writing more. That's really, really, really something that I'm trying to get back on. Like my hope and my goal is to have like a schedule where like I'll wake up, go to the gym, like wake up, go to the gym, come back, shower, write for a little bit, and then and write like not podcast really, like write like stories and stuff that I really want to like focus on. And then if I need to, I can like brainstorm for the podcast that day. Obviously I don't need to do that every day. And then I can chill the rest of the day. That's kind of my goal. Almost, I don't want to call it this, but almost make it like writing is my homework. Like, all right, I gotta get this done today before I can really like do whatever the heck I want type of thing. So that's my goal. We'll see. And I'll keep you guys updated on that. So who knows? That's like my summer plans. So I'm hoping like the creative levels that like are in this podcast and just like that, I hope they will increase and you'll kind of be able to see it more. I do feel like I've done a good job like keeping it creative for the most part. I try not to do repeat subjects or repeat topics and whatnot. I think adding like the rank up thing was really good too. I was really proud of that. And so I'm going to keep trying to do stuff like that. And there's going to be more segments too. Rank up is not the end all be all of segments, and it's not the only segment we will have. There'll be weeks where we don't even do rank up. There'll be weeks where we have a new segment come in. There might be a time where rank up doesn't even come in for like 3 months worth of episodes, because obviously I'm going to run out of stuff to rank eventually, right? And to have in brackets. So I just wanted to like point that out to everybody. And if you ever have any ideas for, not necessarily questions, but like segments, like not games, but like the rank up segment. Feel free to comment it on YouTube or if you TikTok, if you follow TikTok, anywhere really, because I'll see it and I'm so open to suggestions. This isn't like a dictatorship where I'm like, all right, whatever I say is final, which technically it is true. Whatever I say is final, but I'm so open to ideas, and because there's obviously outside perspectives are really good. If I couldn't think of something, then maybe somebody who's not like so inside this operation can think of something better. So if you ever think of any segment that you think would be really fun for me to do, or for me and a guest to do, like please let me know, because I'm so open to it, and I'm trying to think of stuff myself, because obviously rank up is not something I don't want to do rank up every episode. I would like it to be something I do every so often while I do other segments in between. Like I don't want to be doing each segment like every week. So it's something else that I hate too. Like, let's say I'm gonna use a gas station as an example, because that's probably like the primary place that this happens. Or I guess actually you could say at the airport too, like at those kiosks or at the stores there. I hate when I go to a place and I like to buy snacks, which is typically airport or gas station because you're on the road or you're about to fly. Dude, why are there never prices on anything there? It bugs me so much. Like usually for the drinks, there's the prices there, but if you were like want a bag of chips or whatever, there's like never a price with them. So you're just playing a guessing game, and it's so annoying to me. I'm just like, I don't want to be guessing if I'm paying like $6 for this or if it's gonna be like $4. I want to know my total so that I can know if I can then proceed to get more snacks or if I need to cut a snack. You know what I mean? It's a conundrum here. We have to keep it balanced. Okay, I don't want to be spending too much on so little snacks, but I don't want to be spending too little on too little snacks. You know what I mean? Like there needs to be a fine line. There is a line, and we need to reach it. And if we go over it, I'm gonna be mad. And if we go under it, I'm gonna be mad too. Okay? Oh, but Jacob, you could just, once you go to the register, you could just like, if you have less, and you can just add more stuff. I'm not doing that. I'm not going back. Okay? I'm not going back. So I think we need to have prices on everything. I don't think that's too much to ask for either. Like it's really really not hard. I mean, listen, I'm not saying that working at a gas station, working in the store in a gas station is fun. Okay, I imagine it sucks and it's probably a dull job, and I can't imagine the characters you see there. I really can't. But I'm sure it wouldn't be hard to just have one person put a sign somewhere. It doesn't have to be on per, how when you go to a grocery store, it's per bag basically, or per type of chip. Just put a sign up that says all chips $2.49 or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Just do that for just generalize it. I don't care. Okay, but just give me that. Give me something. Give me something and I'll give you something. Okay, I'll give you some shmoney so that I can have my snacks. Okay, I'll give you the shmoney. I get the snacks. Okay, I think that's a fair trade, but I want to know the price going in. If I don't know the price going in, I'm a little upset about it. So that's my 2 cents. That's my 2 cents on it. Okay, and I think that this is a change the world needs to see. So when I run for president in 12 years, how is it, 35 or 36 you have to be to run for president? I don't know. It doesn't matter. I'm not running for president. Also, that was something I thought about the other day too. I'm not running for president. I'm going to go back to talking about teaching kids. Because I'm 24 right now, and I feel young, but when the fifth graders that I teach right now, when they are seniors in high school, I will be 31 years old. Well, I'll be 30 and then 31. Dude, what? That's not okay. Dude, that's not okay. That's just not okay. It's just so weird to me. That just makes me feel so old. I know there's definitely people that are over their 30s that listen to this. And I'm not saying if you're 30, you're old. You're definitely not. But I feel like it's one of those things when you yourself are that age, you feel old. I feel old at 24. But if when I'm 27 or 28 and I'm talking to a 24-year-old, I'm like, oh, you're so young. What are you talking about? It's just when you're in it, you're a little harder on yourself than other people, I guess. Or than you are on other people is what I meant to say. I'm so all over the place right now. I'm so sorry. I feel like I'm rambling a little bit, and that's kind of on me. But I'm just kind of I'm saying my thoughts. I'm trying to be funny while also being entertaining and also keeping it serious. So that's that. Off topic, but I had somebody mention to me that if you're watching the video, you'll see this. If you're listening, then I'm sorry, but my table that I have right now, it looks like there's a face right here. I don't know. You've probably noticed it if you watched the video, so I don't need to point it out to you. But somebody pointed that out to me, and I thought that was really funny because it really does look like a face. So, and it's just staring at you the whole time. And there's no way it'll never not be staring at you by the way I had the table set up. So, that's probably what people look at more than they look at me, I would imagine, which is fair. I don't blame you. I'd be doing the same exact thing. So, props to you. Speaking of the table, I actually have some really cool ideas for this table. I know it's just a bland wood table right now, but I'm going to paint it. And I'm going to hopefully do cool designs on it. I'm not very artistic. I will admit that in a heartbeat, but my family is. It's the craziest thing. My fiance is super artistic. She's going to be doing art on YouTube. And when she does, I'm going to promote that every episode, but, she's really artistic, is insane. My grandma's really artistic. My cousin, my uncle's kid, so he's still my cousin, but I was explaining the relation to him. He doesn't like to do art that much. He likes to play games a lot like me, but he has artistic capability. I've seen him some drawings that he's done, and I'm it's really better than I could do right now, and he's about to be a 7th grader. My stepsister, also about to be a 7th grader, super artistic, draws really cool cartoon characters, almost anime type characters, really impressive. And then my stepmom is also artistic as well. I can draw, it's so weird. And then I don't know if my dad's artistic or not, so maybe if he's not, then that's where I got it from. But I'm not very artistic. But I'm gonna try to use every ounce of artistic capability that I have in my body to make this table into something really cool. I already have the idea for it. I've already showed my fiance. She's willing to help, and I guarantee you I will use her help because I'm going to be asking a million questions. But I'm hoping the idea I have in my brain works for this. If it doesn't, I'm just gonna cover this thing, the entire thing in stickers. Like, no joke. I already have a bunch of stickers. I'll buy more and I'll just cover it in stickers to where you can't even see the table, like the wood anymore. So I do have a backup plan in case my art fails, but we're gonna try it out. And so I wanted to let you guys know that because it is kind of bland to look at. I know. Once summer hits, which is literally my last day when you're listening to this is in 2 days. It's on Friday. I'm gonna paint it. I'm gonna start painting it on like a Monday or whatever, and then it should be painted by like the next episode. At least it'll be painted white by the next episode. But I'm gonna paint it white, and then I'm gonna paint some designs on it. And I'm not gonna spoil anything. I want you guys to be surprised if it works out. And if it doesn't work out, I will cry. But that is that. So that I'm excited for that too. I got to work on like little projects like this, be a little more handy. Maybe my dad and I don't really know. We haven't talked about it too much recently, but we might work on like getting an actual podcast studio that we have some space here. So we might like look into building something for that. So that's really cool. If we do that, if we don't do that, I'm totally fine filming it here. I've got no problem filming it in this spot. So yeah. Oh, I don't know what I'm talking. There is news in my household a bit, and I'm not gonna go into too much detail because I don't want. Actually, I don't want. I'll be vague here because I don't want to jinx anything right now. But there is potentially really good things happening in my household in about 18 days. That's all I'm gonna say right now. Because I don't want to jinx anything. So I'm once the good things once they happen, if they happen, then I'll obviously talk about them. And I'm sorry for like teasing you with that, but I just figured I don't want to talk about it and then it not come to fruition, and then I'm gonna feel like crap. Not because I feel like I personally jinxed it or whatever did or like caused it, but just because it's just gonna suck to talk about and then have to like go back on my word. So I'm holding off on that for a bit. Sorry for the tease, but yeah, it's something to look forward to. I will say though, I'm all over the place, I know, but this is going back to the art topic. I have a friend who's actually gonna be on next week, so I'm not gonna spoil too much because I want him to talk about it. But him and I, we grew up, or not grew up, I mean 6th grade and on, we grew up together, and one of my closest friends, him and I were not the most artistic kids. We would play sports, play video games, but like had bad handwriting, weren't very artsy. We took art classes like for electives, and we passed, but it wasn't like because we didn't pass because we were Picasso or whatever. We just passed because it's art class. He recently got into digital art, which I found on TikTok. His TikTok, he's been doing it, and like the stuff he's been doing is really cool. Like, and if you had told me 7, 8, 9 years ago that he'd be doing art and it'd be like really good, I'd be like, all right, And I don't want to come off like a jerk when I say that, or like a dick, because he's one of my really good friends. But my point in this is, if you practice at something and you do it continuously, you can improve. Even at our old age of 24, you can still improve upon it. So like it's a shout out to him because it's a testament to, first of all, his hard work, and he's just been following tutorials and whatnot according to his TikTok. But like, it's still really cool to see the stuff that he's doing because he's passionate about it. He's doing it. And again, I'm not going to spoil too much because he's going to probably talk about it on the next episode. But my point is, if there's something you really want to do, but you're like, I'm too old to learn it now, I'm not going to, just do it. If you want to learn another language, if you want to learn how to draw better or become better artistically, or if you want to learn how to play an instrument or whatever it is, I challenge you to pursue that, because anything that can, art is a great outlet. If you're having a bad day or just a bad week or even a bad life or whatever, art is such a good way to get your feelings out and to focus your energy into something productive and positive. It's a good outlet. It clears your mind. So, and learning a language, learning a second language or a third language, depending on how many you already know, that's so good for your brain to be challenged like that continuously, or read books that educate you. Don't necessarily just read stories about fairies or whatever. I don't know what people are reading, but read stuff that can teach you about things, if that's the stuff that you're interested in too. I think that's my goal for the summer too, is I want to better myself physically and mentally, and I think that should be everybody's goal always. I want to become smarter. I say I want to read more. I don't know if I really will, but I want to just surround myself with things that are productive and that can make me a smarter person and help me with my podcast and with writing or this and that, whatever it is, the heck it is I want to do, or just life in general. I want to do that stuff. So shout out to my friend for improving upon that skill and finding, he really enjoys doing it. I think that's really cool. And all the power to him. And so just do that thing that you want to do. If you really want to do it, and it's going to suck at first, it's going to suck really bad at first. When you're not good at something, or when you're starting something, you're not necessarily going to be good at it right away. I mean, look at this podcast. This has been such a tumultuous ride that we've had. It's been up and down and crazy. There's been so much turbulence, but I'm still going strong. And I knew a decent amount about some of the stuff. I knew how to set things up, and I did research. And there's still been a lot of issues. And I'm frustrated about it, yeah. But once you get through the hard times, like those really difficult times, like where you're not good at it and like you're struggling a bit, and then you get through to the times where you're better at it and you're good at it, and it's like your actual idea and your goals are coming to fruition, it makes that feeling all the more better. And it's like, it's such a better gratification. I think long-term gratification is much better than like the instant gratification or that short-term gratification, because you had to work really hard to get to this point, and you had to really like go through some ups and downs in some moments where you probably thought you were going to give up, and instead of giving up, you kept persevering and pushing on through. And now this thing that you've always dreamt of, or you've been trying to do for so long, has come to fruition, and it's now where you want it to be. I mean, that's my goal for the podcast. I will tell you guys honestly, there have been times where I go to edit and I hear like the echo, or I hear the audio issues, and I get really discouraged, and I get really mad and frustrated, because I just feel like, I just feel dejected. Like, what can I do? Like, what? I've done so much. I've done research. I've spent hours and hours like trying to figure this out, and I don't know what the heck to do, and I just feel stuck. But I'm not going to let that deter me from something that I genuinely enjoy doing. And despite the fact that the numbers on this podcast have steadily decreased since episode 1, I'm still enjoying doing it. And it's still cool for me to learn this stuff, because you never know in life, or maybe a future job or whatever. Maybe there's something that I'm doing here that I need to know for the future, and I can be like, oh, well, I already know how to do that because I did that. So even if this podcast doesn't pan out or anything like that, and it's just something that I do for fun to like 12 to 15 listeners a week, that's okay. I'm okay with that. It's as long as you're having fun and not hurting anybody, you should do it, and you should pursue it. And even through the rough times, you should push on through and keep going and keep grinding and keep doing it, because once you get through those tough times, it's going to feel so much better once you're good at whatever it is. When I mentioned the basketball players earlier, or the athletes or whatever, they weren't born that good. Yes, they're naturally athletic, most of them, but it takes a lot of hard work, and it takes a lot of like really rough days and rough nights for them to get to that point. Nobody's born just gifted like that. Even my fiance, who's really good artistically, she tells me all the time, she's like, I used to not be that good at art, but I just started doing it a lot, and I started practicing, and now I've got to this point where I'm really good. And well, she doesn't say she's really good, but like, she's definitely really good. She's amazing. So that's my, I'm not gonna leave you with that, but that's like my really serious like topic of the day, because I think so often we get so discouraged because we mess up, or because we don't want to fail, or because I suck at it, I'm not gonna get better ever, that we don't push through those hard times. And it's kind of like what Chance and I were talking about with a couple of video games last week, with the video game Bloodborne, which ended up winning the bracket. It's a game, where it's really tough, but once you get through those tough parts, it feels even better, right? As opposed to just if it was really easy and it kind of told you what to do and it kind of helped you out along the way. And that's how it is with this. It's going to be really tough, and a lot of people give up at this spot where it's really tough. But if you don't and you push through, you can be like Chance, you really love the game, or you can be like this person who's really good at drawing, or this person who's really good at, who speaks fluent, like 3 fluent languages or whatever. So that is my challenge to you. Just take that leap. There's no point in not. You only live once. Life, everybody. I was trying to say everybody's young. That's not true. That's not how age works. But you only live once. Do what you want to do. Do what makes you happy. Okay, unless it's like killing people, don't kill people. Okay, I'm not condoning that. Like, as long as you're not hurting other people, do what you want to do. And like, you're only going to be young for so often. You're only going to have so many options and chances to do it. Do all these things. If you are young, do all these things while you're young. If you want to, like, it's a lot easier to do it the younger you are than like if I was 50 years old trying to learn a new language. You know what I mean? So that's my advice and my goal to you. But that being said, if you're 50 listening to this and you want to learn a new language, you definitely can. I'm not saying that it's impossible, because it's obviously not. People do it all the time, I'm sure. So that's my challenge to you. Okay, we're close to like the hours mark, at least according to my stopwatch. This is without edits, of course, but probably closer to like 45 to 50 minutes. We are going to go into the final thing that we're going to do here, and that is the rank up. I know, it's back. It's long awaited because it definitely wasn't here last week or the week before that or the week before that. I didn't have time to make one. I could have made one probably, but I didn't have time to make one, and I didn't make one. So, and I was honestly on the fence of whether or not I was even going to do one in the first place, because I was like, I said that I wanted it to be my personal, like one that I would make for like the episodes that I'm by myself. But I decided, screw it. So I just went on the website. By the way, if you ever want to do any of these brackets, it's called bracketfights.com. That's all it is. And there's a ton of options and ton of genres and ton of topics and categories. I haven't had anybody ask if they wanted to do it, but I just wanted that to be known. If you wanted to do it for something of your own creatively or whatnot. So I'm really hungry right now. So naturally, I decided to do a fast food restaurants bracket fight. So I haven't looked. I scrolled through the list just to see like if it was a really long one. It's not super long, so don't worry about that. I think it's like 20 on each side, if that. So, or maybe it might be even like 16. So it's a short list. We're gonna go through it and we're gonna rank it. And if I haven't eaten there, or if it's not like local to where I'm at, I will try to substitute with like the local chain, because sometimes they have like if it's Carl's Jr.'s or Hardee's, or if I don't like either, I'll just go with like, I don't know. I'll explain it along the way. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the first matchup that we have is, oh my God, is Arby's versus Jack in the Box. These are two places that I do not eat at all. I've eaten Arby's and Jack in the Box, I think a combined total of 10 times. And I think that's saying too much. I don't even think I've eaten them that much. I don't really know. I know Arby's gets memed a lot, like as like they're really crappy. And I actually have a friend who loves Arby's. I'm gonna, honestly, controversial, I'm gonna give it to Arby's because they have curly fries, and I love curly fries. So that's really it. And if I were to get Arby's, I would get like curly fries and mozzarella sticks. That would be like all I would get there, because it's, for the most part, I'm not a fan of their food. Okay, so we don't have, one of these is A&W, which I don't think I have near me, and if I do, I have never had it, versus Auntie Anne's. I've had Auntie Anne's, so I'll go Auntie Anne's. Who doesn't like a pretzel when you're at the mall? Okay, we have Boston Market Homestyle Meals versus Burger King. Never had a Boston Market. Couldn't even tell you what that is per se, so I can't even like substitute it with something that would be local. So I'm gonna go Burger King by default. I actually like don't hate Burger King. I know it's not like top tier. Well, none of these are top tier. It's fast food. But I know like for fast food wise, it's not top tier and it's usually hated on. But they're pretty cheap, and I do appreciate that. They do have a good variety too, and their stuff seems to be working, unlike some other restaurants, McDonald's. But I'm not really a fan of them or McDonald's really. But I don't even know if I had to choose between the two. I don't even know what I would choose. But anyways, we have a Checkers versus Chick-fil-A. I don't even know what Checkers is. I should have checked this. I should have checked this list beforehand to see if it was places I'd heard of. But Chick-fil-A would win either way. I really like Chick-fil-A. I don't like what they stand for, so that's a different story. But I do like their food. But what they stand for and their actual beliefs, I disagree with wholeheartedly. Chipotle versus Cinnabon. This is gonna shock so many. I've never had Chipotle. Never had Chipotle. I don't have a huge desire to have it either. I feel like I'll have it someday. It's probably not bad, but I've never had Chipotle. I can't tell you if I've had a Cinnabon either. Like I've had like the Cinnabon things from Taco Bell. I'm gonna go Chipotle just based off the name, because I haven't had like Cinnabon, like a legitimate one. So I'll go Chipotle just because of the name. Oh my God, Jimmy John's versus Dairy Queen. Wow. I actually have friends that work at both of these places. No joke. But I'll be honest, I'm not a huge fan of Jimmy John's. I'm not a huge fan of sandwich places in general, but like I'm not a huge fan of Jimmy John's. Like if I had to choose between like a franchise sandwich place, I would choose like Jersey Mike's or Subway over it personally. I just don't think it's anything special. Dairy Queen, I mean, they got the blizzards. Dairy Queen gets it because of the blizzards. That's not hard. Five Guys versus Hardee's, which is, I don't have Hardee's, so it'd be Carl's Jr. for me. I'm going Five Guys. I'm not a huge fan of Carl's Jr. either. I actually have a story. Oh my goodness. Perfect. This is actually great. I have a story about Carl's Jr. So last February, so 2021 February, where I live, there was a huge like ice storm. Like everything like froze over, and then like we had branches and trees literally falling down. Like our yard, we have a lot of trees in our yard. We lost so many branches. There was so much debris, and it wasn't just us. It was quite literally like the entire like not the entire city, but most of the city. And like there was even houses that had like trees or big branches fall into their house and do like property damage. And we were without power for like not everybody, but just like my house in this strip was without power for 4, 5, 6 days. It was a while. But on like the first day that we lost power, obviously we couldn't cook food, so we were driving around because a local, like a city like 10, 15 minutes away from us, like had power. So we were like, all right, let's go get food there. We went to Carl's Jr. because we were already out buying groceries and stuff. So we're like, all right, let's go to Carl's Jr. And huge line because it was one of the few places that actually had power. And while we're in line, and we had been in line for like 10 to 15 minutes at this point. We're in line, and this guy walks in with like a small like portable grill and gives it to a guy that's working there and says, and the guy that's working there says, hey, thanks, man. I'll give it back to you like later. And my dad and I looked at each other and we were like, are they about to use just some random guy's grill like from his house? Because I think one of their grills like stopped working or something. Something was off, obviously. So my dad and I saw that and we were like, he was wearing Carl's Jr. stuff too. So I'm assuming he worked either at that store or at a different store. But still, I was like, I'm not trusting where that came from. So my dad and I just dipped, and we actually got food at Dairy Queen, ironically enough. So that's that story. So that's why I'm not going to eat Carl's Jr. ever again because of that. So Five Guys wins it for that alone. But I think Five Guys would have won it anyways. In-N-Out versus White Castle. Never had White Castle. I don't think there's one near me. In-N-Out, controversial opinion, is overrated. I said it. Okay? Burgers are good. Milkshakes are good. Fries are so bad. And that's not talked about enough. The fries are awful. Okay? And there's the people around me that agree. So it's not like it's just my opinion. My fiance agrees with me as well. And it just bugs me because if you're going to have fries with a burger, like, because you don't have to serve the fries with the burger, but if you're going to make them good, because it's a compliment to the burger. And I know for me, like when I have a burger, I love having fries with it, and they complement the burger well. But hey, not at In-N-Out. And that's a shame. It's a shame that their fries aren't good. I will say this, though. First of all, it's overrated and overhyped. It's nothing special, in my opinion. Yeah, the food is solid, but it's fast food. You know, like people act like it's the best fast food place ever. I'm like, I don't think that's true. I don't know what I guess we're about to find out what I think the best fast food place is. But I just think it's very overrated and overhyped. Like we got one in town like a couple years ago, and there's still lines, like always, like huge lines, and I'm just like, all right, whatever. That being said, I will say this about them: despite how like popular and poppin' they always are, their prices are so cheap. Like they're very reasonable and they're like affordable. So I will give them that, and that's something I do appreciate about them because they could honestly raise prices like a lot and still have a ton of people going there. So, and their service is pretty good. They're like pretty fast despite how busy they always are. So, but yeah, so In-N-Out will win that because I haven't had White Castle. Arby's versus Auntie Anne's. This isn't even like comparable. This is like an apple to an orange. I'm going to go with Arby's because it's versatile. There's more you can do with it. But I really wish Arby's wasn't right there. Arby's shouldn't be this far in. Burger King versus Chick-fil-A. I'm going Chick-fil-A. Don't really feel like I need to explain that. Chipotle versus Dairy Queen. I haven't had Chipotle. It only moved on because I hadn't had the other one, so Dairy Queen's going to move on. I know Chipotle is probably better. Don't yell at me. I know every streamer and like 100 Thieves and FaZe, everybody loves Chipotle. I'm sure it's phenomenal. Never had it, so Dairy Queen by default wins that one. By default, not by like personal opinions. Don't like angrily like tweet at me or whatever. Five Guys versus In-N-Out. I'll go In-N-Out. I will go In-N-Out. I've only had Five Guys a few times, so I'll go In-N-Out. In-N-Out's cheaper too, and so I'll give them that. Arby's versus Chick-fil-A. It's Chick-fil-A. Dairy Queen versus In-N-Out. It's In-N-Out. That's not, as much as I don't I think In-N-Out's overrated. It's not worse than that. Chick-fil-A versus In-N-Out. This is honestly, realistically, this would probably be most people's championship round. Because I still have a whole another side of the bracket, need I remind you. So this is probably like most people's like number 1 and number 2. For me, Chick-fil-A is better than In-N-Out. Again, I do not agree with Chick-fil-A's beliefs. I think that that's really, their whole thing about that is just ridiculous, and especially in the time we live in, it's 2022. Like, get over yourselves. But that's a whole nother thing. Like, and it's hard for me to, by the way, there's not one near me, so I don't really eat Chick-fil-A very often, but when I've had it, it's very good, and I do enjoy it, even though I'm supporting a bigot, but that's fine. I guess it's whatever. El Pollo Loco versus Taco Bell. And I see why they put these two together, and I don't know if that's racially motivated or not, but that's okay. Never had El Pollo Loco, so I'm going to go Taco Bell. Also, I really like Taco Bell, too. I'll admit, I like Taco Bell. Subway versus Sonic. Interesting matchup. Interesting. Very different. Man, that's actually tough. I mean, Subway, I don't have Subway that often. I will admit, I don't go out to get sandwiches that often. I will make sandwich at home typically. Subway's food is solid. Like, it's okay. I mean, they also had the scandal with Jared Fogle, but that's okay. Versus Sonic, again, here's the thing about Sonic. Their food is not great. It's not great. Maybe there might be 1 or 2 good things on the menu. But their slushies and their shakes and their ice cream is good. The slushies are really good. The ice cream and the shakes are good. So it's like, do I give them the edge for that, or do I give the edge to Subway, who has just more consistently good things? Because I feel like if most of your food items aren't great, which I guess you could say the thing. Oh my gosh, I just slurred and stuttered so hard. I guess you could say the same thing about Dairy Queen, if you want to get like technical about it. I'm gonna say I would rather go Sonic because I love milkshakes. I have a sweet tooth. So like if there's a place where I can get a milkshake at, I'm gonna typically choose the milkshake place. But shout out to Subway because Mason Ramsey, aka the Yodel Kid, worked there. I don't know if he still does. So shout out to him. Even though he's literally famous, he works at Subway. Wendy's versus KFC. Wendy's nuts. Again, 2 places I don't really eat at. I don't really have a strong opinion on either of these food places. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm going KFC based off the commercials. Because they had that point where they had like Norm Macdonald, they had Reba McEntire, they had a bunch of people playing the Colonel. I'm giving them the edge because of that. Okay. As for actual food, I really couldn't tell you, because I couldn't tell you the last time I've had either of those 2 places. McDonald's versus Long John Silver's. Never had Long John Silver's, but I'm not a huge seafood guy, and I'm pretty sure Long John Silver's is seafood. So McDonald's will win that one, but I'm not a fan of McDonald's. Except that Shamrock Shake, though, which I haven't had a Shamrock Shake in like 3 years, and I'm really mad about it, because every time like March comes around, I see somebody like mention a Shamrock Shake, and I'm like, dude, I need to get one. I never remember to. And the worst part is, even if I remembered to, you know what would happen? The ice cream machine would be broken. And to me, I don't think the ice cream machines are actually broken. I think they're just too lazy to like do what they need to do to fix it. Or they just get so busy that they don't want to actually make it. But I'm like, hey, if Dairy Queen can pump out a bunch of Blizzards, and I've seen them pumping out the Blizzards, they got to swirl around the machines. Like I said, I have a friend who works there. Then I know you can make your shake, okay? Okay, anyways. Quiznos versus Steak and Shake. I've never had either of these places. So, you already know I'm going to pick Steak and Shake. I actually think Quiznos went out of... Did it go out of business? Or maybe just like the store by me went out of business. Maybe that was it. But I'm going to go Steak and Shake because it has shake in the name and it has shakes. And that's going to automatically win it. So that's that. Dunkin' Donuts versus Jersey Mike's. I'm going Jersey Mike's. Never had Dunkin'... I don't know... I think I've had Dunkin' Donuts. Like, I don't drink coffee, really. I do love donuts, though. But Jersey Mike's, I do actually enjoy Jersey Mike's sandwiches, so. Panda Express versus Panera Bread. I'm going to go Panera. Yeah, Panera has more of the type of food that I enjoy. So, all right, moving on. Popeyes versus Whataburger. Don't have a Whataburger near me. Never had a Whataburger. Heard it's good, though. But I've had Popeyes, and that was pretty good, too. So, I should say it was solid. It's not anything insane. Oh, we're already going to the top. Wow, there's actually some stuff that I thought there was going to be some other options on here. I kind of wish I would have made one myself now, but it's fine. Taco Bell versus Sonic. I'm going Taco Bell. I don't even need to think about that one. KFC versus McDonald's. I'll go McDonald's, but I'm not a fan of it. All right, I'm making a change here. I just thought of it because I thought it was going to be on the bracket, but it's not. I'm changing Steak and Shake to Shake Shack. Okay? So instead of Steak and Shake, it's Shake Shack right now because I thought it was going to be on here, and if I had known that, I would have changed it originally in the first round. Either way, it would have won, and I've actually had Shake Shack, so that's why I kind of want it to be something I've had. That being said, so right now we have Steak and Shake, which is actually now Shake Shack. So Shake Shack versus Jersey Mike's. I'm going Shake Shack. I think, personally, Shake Shack might be my favorite fast food chain. We're about to see, but Panera versus Popeyes, two very different things. I'm going to go Popeyes because you get more food at Popeyes. Panera's expensive and doesn't give you a lot of portions. Okay, Taco Bell versus McDonald's. I'm going T-Bell all day. All day. You give me some chicken quesadillas, okay? All right. Shake Shack versus Popeyes. I'm going Shake Shack. All right. Now we have Taco Bell versus Shake Shack. Right now, Shake Shack, Taco Bell, and Chick-fil-A, I think, are my top 3 fast food places. I think. And if I had to choose between Taco Bell and Shake Shack, which, by the way, I do not have a Shake Shack near me. I think the closest one is probably like 45 minutes to an hour away. But I've had it a few times when I was in like Las Vegas. So I have had it more than once, I promise. I'm going to go Shake Shack. I'm going Shake Shack. And that leads us to the championship round of Shake Shack versus Chick-fil-A. Now, these are two places that I do not have very close to me. We were actually getting a Chick-fil-A pretty close to me, which I am excited about. And these places are versatile. They have options. You know, Shake Shack has a lot of options for shakes. Really, they got burgers and they got some nuggets. That's really all they have food-wise. Chick-fil-A, they have options. They have fries too at Shake Shack. Chick-fil-A, you got nuggets, you got chicken sandwiches, you got burgers, you got mac and cheese. There's a lot of really good options there. And their dessert menu is really good too. And honestly, if I had to pick between the two, I think Chick-fil-A should win. But because of their beliefs, I'm going to give the edge to Shake Shack because it's already close for me personally as it is anyways. Shake Shack's burgers are incredible. Their shakes are incredible. Their fries are really good too. The crinkle cut, which I love crinkle cut fries. Plus, if you get like the cheese fries, it's really good. Oh my God, like the cheese sauce is so good. So I think Chick-fil-A could have easily won that. But hey, listen, if you're gonna be owned by a bigot, then you can't be number one. And I know they made it this far, and maybe that's like hypocritical to say, but I gave the edge to Shake Shack based on that reason, okay? And if you don't like it, then I'm sorry, but it's the end of the episode anyway, so what are you gonna do? So that's my rank up. I definitely probably annoyed some people with some of those decisions I made, but again, not everything was local to me, and I haven't had everything. So, and like I said, realistically, I think Chick-fil-A is probably the superior fast food chain, but that's it is what it is. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I kind of did, and it made me really hungry. So I'm gonna end this episode, which I was gonna end it anyways, but I'm gonna end it even sooner so that I can go eat. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. If you're still listening, if you're 10 episodes deep, like I am, yeah, obviously I'm 10 episodes deep. This show doesn't go on without me. I'm losing my mind. But if you're 10 episodes deep, I really appreciate it. Even if you're new, I appreciate it. Whatever it is, I don't care. If you're listening, if you're at this point in the episode, I really appreciate it. I know it's probably not been the best viewing and listening experience at times, but I'm doing my best. I'm working really hard to make this like something that is enjoyable for people. Even if it's only a few of you, which is, my numbers have been going down. That's whatever. But I hope you guys have been enjoying it. So I appreciate you guys. Thanks for coming along for this journey that I didn't really plan anything for, but hey, we made it through it. I hope you guys have a great week. I'm really excited because the next time I'm recording an episode, I will have done my speech and I'll be on summer break. I'm very excited for all that. So I hope you guys enjoy your summer. Summer's coming up for a lot of us. I know people still have to work. I know not everybody's fortunate like I am to have summer off, but I hope you still get to do fun things in the summer and still get to go outside and have a good time a lot. And, hopefully COVID doesn't affect you and your plans or anything like that. So I'm wishing you guys good mental health, and I will see you in a week. Bye.